Hi guys and gals, it's Shane Stevenson again here at the Buffalo Naval Park, and we have not Ryan behind the camera, but we have Lucas behind the camera this morning. And when he came back again from Albany for a second time, he actually suggested, why don't we climb up the whole main mast ladder? I said, I'm not doing that, okay? I have a slight fear of heights, not enclosed spaces, but heights. So we said, well, what's another like scary ladder or trunk or passageway that we can go from the main deck all the way down as far as we can get to? And we decided on this ladder at frames between frames 6 and 7. So you'll see we're about ready to climb down. So immediately here is the second deck, then you might see the third deck, and then that darkened area becomes the first platform, and then there seems to be an oval hatch for a tank, or the peak tank is down there. So we probably can't get in there, but we're gonna try to undo some of the bolts and then re-secure it and show the camera down on the second platform. So I'm already getting a little vertigo here, but we're gonna start climbing down this ladder, and you're gonna be coming with us. Well, that ladder was not fun, all right? But we are now on the second deck, and the first thing forward we see is supply department storeroom. General storekeeper, they have their nice rate emblem, and on board the USS Little Rock, the supply department was broken up into 5 divisions. And so this is for S1, this is for the first division. All right, and you can see it leads forward. It's not really well lit, but again, we're at about between frames 5 and 7, so roughly 6, of course. And so that leads just forward, and then it kind of truncates, and then on the other side of that you have like those very forward peak tanks right at where the sides of the hull come together. Where the blade is, sometimes it's called the blade, right? Right here, we have a paint issuing room, right, with a lot of nice stamps on it from original working hours that you can come get some paint. All right, so if we were to take a peek in there, well, obviously, a lot of the architecture is still there, where they would have stored the paint cans. All right, and then just aft of us is the anchor windlass spaces, where the hawsers are coming down from the main deck. So we're going to continue to go down, and also with Lucas is an air monitor, right? So we worry a little bit about the ladders, and we worry a little bit about the air. So a couple of years ago, a gentleman named Steve, who served aboard the Little Rock, saw me going down into a space and said, oh, I wish you'd be a little more careful. So he sent us some air monitors, and so we have those, which will test for oxygen, carbon monoxide, explosive gases, and so we've got that ready to alarm us if there's any atmospheric changes that we should be aware of. All right, so we'll head down to the third deck now. So now we are on the third deck, right? Really great evidence here, getting closer to the bow. Right, you can see the hull and the ship taking shape up forward here. Right, with that nice outline as it continues forward. And now we are in the first division storerooms. So first division, of course, kind of like the deck apes, with second and third divisions on board a ship like this. So I can imagine you can see some evidence of old rope and your line, and you can maybe imagine that there's a lot of line that would be in here for watercraft or just line they needed to work on the ship. If you worked in this space or had to come into this space, let me know what you're thinking. You know, if you're an old salt here on the Little Rock and you came down here at about frame 6 or so to get some supplies, if you're part of the 1st Division, please let us know what this space may have looked like when it was actually in service. Okay, so we've got main deck, 2nd deck, 3rd deck. Now we are heading down to the 1st platform that you can see is quite ominous. So now Lucas and I are on the 1st platform, and again we are in the supply department's S1 division storeroom. So that's where a lot of the stores were kept for this department. One of the things here is you see like a parts containment unit here, right? It does have, it's interesting that it lists like the alphabet, M, N, O, P, but it also shows like the serial numbers of the parts. What I can imagine is the serial numbers of the parts for this space. So right below us is the 2nd deck and the peak tank. Another architectural interest here is when the ship would have been loaded, this would have definitely been underwater. Right now, we're probably, as a light load, we're probably about halfway underwater, halfway not. But if you see, it's beginning to bow outward, all right? You can't really tell from the bulkhead here, but you can look along the sides of where the hull is. You can see it's actually tighter up top than it is down at the bottom. Now, nowadays it would have been for, you know, they would have transducers and sonars up forward in that larger bulbous underneath the actual bow. But here they didn't have that, but they did bring it out a little bit under the waterline just to give it some stability. And that's very similar to the tumble home design that the Clevelands had. That was developed by New York Shipbuilding Corporation. So that wasn't a Navy design. The New York Shipbuilding Corporation said we can give it more stability by making a tumble home design so it kind of bulges out as you're getting to the, say, the 3rd deck and the 1st platform, and then it comes back down together as it gets closer to the keel. And that was again to try and counterweight and give some better balance to the very top-heavy Cleveland classes, and naturally with the Galveston and Providence class as well, that with the aft superstructure for the Talos or the Terrier system, there's a lot of added weight extra. Now you remove the guns, so that's good. You didn't have turret 62, 63, or 64, but there still needed to be some counterbalance and some weight distribution issues when they turned to CLGs. So now what we're going to do is we are going to open this hatch, right, that leads down to the 2nd platform and listed as a peak tank. So you'll come along for the ride. Well, this was an amazing surprise, right? If you can hear that echo, you can imagine just forward of here what this peak tank really looks like. Unfortunately, we do have this lightning hole bulkhead here, frame, that, you know, we can't really get past, obviously. We bypassed the 2nd platform, and now it like comes right from the 1st platform right to the hold. And we have to be a little careful. I'm paying attention to the oxygen alarm. The oxygen has gone down a little bit, but the alarm has not gone off yet. So it's stuffy down here, and just forward of here, there is a little lightning hole that if we had the camera down here, which we don't want to do, we might be able to get forward a little bit. Yep. There are 4 such spaces, just as wide as this, leading forward. So say we would be in compartment number 4, there's a 3, there's a 2, there's a 1, and they each have this walking passage, this walking way right here. We do have some standing water in here. Of course, that probably was done by our crew to keep ballast during storms and things like that. So this is a real architectural sight to behold. It feels like I'm standing in a furnace in an old factory or something like that as well. So you see some various pipes, things like that, that are also leading through this space. Well, I hope that you enjoyed coming down with us on this. Looking up is a pretty astounding sight too. We've bypassed second platform, so we're in the hold. Second platform, first platform, third deck, second deck, up to the main deck. And it's time to move out of this space. But thank you as always for your support. Thank you to Lucas. We do have some more videos coming out together, and we'll be releasing that along with this one. And thanks for all your support, and we will see you again soon.
Welcome back.